Hey everyone, it's Abby with the Bead Place and beadplace.net, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a really awesome wired cord necklace. Now, depending on the beads that you choose and the way that you wire them, you can get some really fun different looks. Make sure to check out the description below for the product information. All the materials are from beadplace.net. You can purchase the kit or make sure to click the links below to find the individual products. Let's get started. The materials that I'm using are 3 10mm Swarovski pearls, 4 8mm Swarovski pearls, and 4 6mm Swarovski pearls. I also have one of our braided faux leather cords, some 26 gauge craft wire, and my pliers and my cutter. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is cut a length of our 26 gauge wire. This is a dead soft craft wire, has a copper core. I'm using a silver plated wire. We have lots of different options. So you want to cut a length that you are comfortable working with. Now that could be a length about like this, or it could be a length that's completely your arms outstretched wide. I wouldn't go longer than that for your first one, just because it might be a little bit too much to handle. For me, I'm going to go about that length, maybe a little bit shorter just for the sake of the video, but about like that. And then I'm going to use my flush cutter to cut it off. So I'm going to grab one of my biggest pearls. So I'm going to grab one of them and I'm going to string it to the very middle of my wire. So I'm going to hold the two ends together as one and then string the pearl to the very middle. And I'm going to kind of almost secure it in the middle by kind of pushing the wire down on either side of it, like this. I'll give you a closer look. So the next step is to find the center of your cord. And I do that just by holding the ends so they're about equal, and then I find the center. So I'm going to place the pearl directly on top of the center of my cord, just like this. And I'm going to take one side of the wire and bring it down in front of the cord, and I'm going to wrap it around. Then I'm going to take the other side and bring it in back of the cord and wrap it around. So now what I'm doing is I have one more of the largest size pearl. I'm going to string it onto my work so that it's right next to the pearl that we've already wired on. And what I'm going to do, instead of stringing it all the way down, is I'm going to string it and then bend the wire slightly and then bring the wire down again so that it's sitting up just like the other pearl is. So since the wire that's going up into the pearl is coming down in the front, I'm going to bring the wire that's coming out of the pearl down in the back. And I'm going to spiral the wire around the cord about 3 times. You want to kind of be consistent with your first wrap. I like to do 3 times. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to continue stringing pearls on in size order. I'm now working on the next smallest size. I'm going to do 2 on the right side and 2 on the left side. And remember, each time you add a pearl, to bring it slightly, almost all the way down, kind of turn it sideways, and then bring the wire down again. And then wrap 3 times. So we're just going to keep working like this until all the pearls have been used, and then I'll show you how to wrap around them. So when you get to the end, just make sure to wrap at least 3 times and then what we're gonna do is kind of even out our pearls. So just pull down on the center pearl and just kind of twist everything to where it should be so that it's straight. If your pearls are uneven, just kind of slide them and push them down on the wire or on the cord and just kind of move everything to where it should be so that everything is spaced out evenly. All right, so what we're gonna do at this point is add wire if you need to. I have a lot of wire to continue working with, so I'm not going to, but if you need to, just cut off a new piece of wire, coil it on just like you did to kind of secure the pearls, and then just leave your tail ends to hang out until later. So what I'm gonna do is take this wire and bring it down and kind of around this side of the pearl, and then I'm going to coil around my pearl. Now you can do this about 1 to 3 times. If you want to kind of be conservative with your wraps, maybe stick to 1 time. I'm just going to do 1 time just to show in the video. But then bring the wire back down again and wrap around 1 time. If you like the look of really messy wire, you can do 3 times. I like 3 times, so if it were something that I was going to make for myself and not just for the sake of the video, I would do 3 times. But just for speed, I'm just doing 1 time. So you see how it's kind of making these almost diagonal wraps from the spaces between the pearl. So just bring it down and continue all the way to the other side of the necklace. Now, one tip that I can share with you is that if you're working with your necklace clasped, you want to unclasp it. It'll make life a lot easier for you so you can work straight. And again, make sure you're using a dead soft temperament wire rather than a half hard or hard temperament wire, and that will again make life a whole lot easier for you. And then once you reach the other side, what you want to do is spiral 3 times to lock it into place. Now we're going to bring the other wire, the long wire from the other side, and we're going to bring it back down in the opposite direction to create an X, just like this. So bring it around, spiral once, bring it around, spiral once. And if your X's don't land perfectly where they should, that's okay, because we're going to do this a whole bunch of times. So bring it around, and I'm going to flip my wire or my necklace around so it's easier for me to work in this direction, but just know we're coming back the other way with the wire. All right, so once we've reached the other end, you want to spiral 3 times to secure it. And again, just kind of bring your center pearl down and adjust all of your pearls where they need to go so that they sit right. Now you want to do this each time you make a pass of wire. Otherwise, what can end up happening is the wire can actually pull your pearls, and once you add more and more wire, it'll be a lot harder to get them bent back to where they need to go. So now what I'm going to do is add more wire. So let's say you ran out of wire in the middle of your work. You'd want to start your new piece of wire in the same direction that your other one was going. So you'd want to start by coiling your new piece of wire on and leave about an inch tail. So you can coil the shorter end around and then just let it hang out for a while until you've made a couple more passes. And then what you can do is trim it and tuck it in. You can also add more wire at the top, or just add your wire onto the middle like how we started. So you take the middle of your wire and just spiral it around the middle of your necklace. So that's what I'm going to do. That way I have shorter pieces on each side to work with. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of cradle the beads that I'm working with. So I'm going to spiral around, and then I'm going to take one of my wires and I'm going to wrap around the pearl itself. And then back around to the other side of the pearl.
And so this will just give you kind of a chunkier wire look. So I'm gonna go back in and do the same thing to the next pearl. And I like to go kind of heavier on the center pearls, the bigger pearls, just to kind of make it look a little bit more even. But you can of course do whatever you want. So that's more wraps around on the center pearls and less on the smaller pearls. So you see how this kind of fills in the space that's kind of visible between the pearl and the cord? Kind of covers these kind of side wires here as well. And so once we get more and more wire on, you'll notice that you don't really have to be as precise with your wiring in order for it to look right. So the more wire that's on there, the funkier you can get, it seems. So once we've finished with a piece of wire, I like to spiral it down as much as I can and then use my pliers to tuck it down. You can also try to use your pliers to tuck it underneath any of the coils that are beneath it. So you can just grab onto it and just kind of tuck it into the wire work itself.
So now what I'm going to do is just continue adding more and more wire until I'm happy with my project. So I'm going to just spiral all my tail ends onto my work and just kind of look and see what areas I need to fill in with wire and just kind of travel to those spaces and kind of coil them on and just kind of fill in the areas where you think you want to fill in. And I personally just kind of keep adding wire until I'm tired because I think that the kind of messy wired look is really appealing to me. I like a lot of kind of chunky wire on my projects, but you stop whenever you feel like you're at a good stopping point. So I'm just gonna keep adding more wire and I'll show you what I come up with. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. You can find the materials at beadplace.net. The links will be in the description below. You can purchase individual materials or you can find everything you need in a kit. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, or you can check us out on Facebook or Instagram. We're also on Pinterest. And I've got one last question for you.
Do you think that you would make one of the trade necklaces, or are the pearl necklaces more your style?
Let me know what you think. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more.